going on here, guys? Good to see you again. Malik here again, our CEO of MTech, Mel. We're back here with the device on my farm. Set up again, same spot, in the middle of nowhere. Well, in the middle of my yard. And it is slowly starting to rain out, so I wanted to do a nice long demonstration, but depending on the rain, we'll see what happens. So the theory behind how this device works is it's not a perpetual motion machine in any way. It is a efficient energy harvesting machine, making contact with the earth. So the way it works, all of our power, whenever we run loads, all of our power passes through that amp meter so we can see what's going on. What's occurring, we have a 5 amp hour source here. 5 amp hour source. And it powers up the ringer circuit. That's why there's 2 switches here. The first switch, when I throw it, powers up the ringer circuit. And you see it activating by those cold cathode negative resistant bulbs that fire. So, hold on, you have to forgive me. I'm outside, I have horrible allergies, can hardly breathe, but anyway. Hello, chicken. Oh, careful, you don't want to peck that. I know. How you doing? What are you doing out here? That's funny. Alright, but anyway. The way how the device works is we create negative resistance in an RLC circuit. And if you don't know what an RLC circuit is, feel free to look it up, any electrical textbook. When we have negative resistance occurring, we have virtually no power draw on our input. And you know you have the negative resistance phenomenon when you add the correct value carbon film resistor to the device. Very important. You need a carbon film resistor. And I added a cold cathode spark gap discharge tube into the circuit that makes it more nonlinear. So what essentially is occurring, we created a negative resistant RLC circuit, but we don't tap into that circuit directly to get power. We tap into it wirelessly with these coils. So we're resonantly tapping wireless power without draining our source, and the negative resistance effect rapidly recharges the source supercap battery hybrid, and we can run loads, whatever we want. We earth grounded it. It's hyper efficient. I explained to you how it works. Oh, I should also connect the feedback circuitry back into the come on, stop pecking that. Connect the feedback circuitry back up to the device. So try and make it look a little neat. Again, to sum it up before I turn it on, our ringer circuit's current passes through the amp meter, and our switch, our AC inverter current passes through the amp meter too. You can see both those connections in the back. One switch is to turn on the ringer circuit. We can tell it's on when the bulbs are firing. They'll be glowing orange. And the other switch is to turn on the inverter. The reason you need a manual switch on the inverter is because inverters have parasitic power draw from a DC source, and it would affect the recharging process of the ringer recharging the source. So, this is a 5 amp hour source. I will turn the ringer on. Ringer is on. I now have the ability to turn my inverter on. Inverter is on. Alright, come on, get out of here. You're going to get zapped. I'll start connecting loads to it. Light bulb. And then I live on a farm and my animals are overly friendly. I raised them since they were babies. They're all very funny. So we have a light being run, drawing 3.4 watts. Not that interesting. We will start to hook up incandescent bulbs. We're going to hook up a lot of different things. And the thing is, we will show you how fast it is capable of recharging itself. Here's all the junk I brought with me. In fact, we will switch out that LED for an incandescent. Here's the wattage draw from the inverter. I'll start connecting more load to it. And for those who aren't paying attention or listening, the special effect occurs when I switch the inverter off. The negative resistance takes over when I switch the inverter off, and the system rapidly recharges itself. That's an LED. I don't want that. We want all incandescent loads here. Heavy incandescent loads. Well, I'm going to have to pop it open. That sucks. I don't want to set the camera down for anything, but I think I got it. Incandescent load running. I thickened up my connections. I soldered them all. I want to connect this light to the device. And some of these wires are just so thick they're obnoxious on some of the lights. I don't know what is going on with this. Alright, here we go. So we're drawing 113.5 watts out of the device. Here's our charge level. Running all incandescents, except for that LED. I don't know if I have any more incandescents. We have wireless power coming off the earth. This effect alone right here isn't normal. I have an RLC circuit that's consuming no power and able to do this. There's obviously a nonlinear effect occurring here. Now I will connect up another light. I don't even know if I can make that connection. Alright, I got it. So, here's our light output, our raw power output. 121 watts sustained. We can see how long it's going for. We are running 3 incandescent bulbs from the device. An LED spotlight, another LED spotlight. Our oscilloscope is hooked up to the device. We are extracting a spiked waveform out of the earth. I don't know why the scope isn't shut. Oh, I'm recording with my light on. What the hell? Also, sensitive electronics act weird around this thing, just so you know. Even though we're consuming virtually no power. The RLC circuit consumes virtually no power. So there's our power draw. We're exceeding 10 amps with the inverter. Now, this is where the magic occurs. This is because this is not an over-unity system. It is an energy harvesting system. This is where the magic occurs. When I switch the inverter off, the negative resistance in this ringer circuit will take over and rapidly recharge our source. Watch this. I'm switching the inverter off now. Watch how fast we recharge. We are at 100%. So, that is where the magic occurs within the system. That negative resistance rapidly recharges our source while our inverter was on. How can I have a 5 amp hour source draw over 100 watts from it for a time and still have the charge go back up to 100%? Our wireless power is present here. This is our heavily earth grounded pipe. Now, that is our charge. I'll turn the system on again. And I'm getting burning my hand from these bulbs. System is now coming online. Wonder if I can shut the light off and not fuck up the record. Alright, good, I did. Now that the system is on, we can show you the waves on the oscilloscope. Here are the spiked waves coming out of the earth on the oscilloscope. It is the 50 kilohertz band, I believe. Spiked waveform. Almost like a pulse form of energy. Again, we're drawing 121 watts from this device. All power is coming out of the inverter, going through a watt meter. All our loads are being run. All of our light loads are being run off the inverter. Our ringer circuit and our inverter, their power draw both pass through that analog amp meter right there. Drawing over 10 amps. We'll step back, look around the area. I'll clean this up a little bit, make it look neater. Give you a good look fully around the device. We're extracting power out of the earth. Charge on the source. I noticed the negative resistance effect because we are powering up the AC inverter simultaneously from the DC source that's also having negative resistance pumped into it. I think somehow there's a beneficial effect occurring from this. So, in fact, I even want to push the system further. I'm going to look for another light. I'll hook up another light to the system. We are running out of spots to connect to. I'm going to have to connect alligators to this and then connect it to the AC output, the live wires. I want everything passing out of the watt meter. And I am having rain drizzle on me and I'm being eaten alive by bugs. But nonetheless, interesting demonstration. Come on. You'll have to forgive me. I'm filming one-handed, doing everything by myself, and I have nature trying to fight me. Alright, that's good. So we connected that. Switch this other light on. Here's our output. The lights don't even look that bright because in fact we're outside. the ambient light is so bright. Good look around everything. And we're drawing 126 watts stable. Towards the conclusion of this video, I will switch off everything, move everything, take it all apart, and let you see everything. We are drawing 125 watts. Stable, 126 really. Almost looks kind of dim in comparison to the ambient daylight. And again, to sum up what's occurring here, we created a negative resistance RLC circuit. Here's a good look at our coils. We created a negative resistant RLC circuit with the correct value carbon film resistor. We added more nonlinear phenomenon to the circuit by adding a cold cathode spark gap discharge tube, which makes the circuit behave very interestingly. Now the fact we have a negative resistant RLC circuit that draws virtually no power, we can bring in 2 wireless resonant magnetic receiver coils, which are the yellow coils, and you need the negative resistance effect for this to occur. I spoke with ChatGPT 4.0 in full detail. It completely confirms the negative resistance effect. I can post all that chat logs soon, and basically we're able to wirelessly harness power without affecting our input source at all, and we have that combined with the extraction of earth power, because when you earth the system right at this spot, the wireless receivers output more power, the 2 yellow ones, which are not physically connected to the RLC circuit in any way. That power goes back to the source. We're sustained 63%, 125 watts. When I switch this off, this switch goes to the inverter. Watch how rapidly it recharges from that negative resistance. That negative resistance will rapidly recharge the system. How can I draw over 120 watts from a 5 amp hour source without having less than a 100% charge? I will turn the device on again. Well, the inverter, again, you have to have a manual disconnect switch on your inverter to prevent parasitic capacitance draw from your DC source, as well as detuning. And again, we are powering up 2 circuits here. The simple inverter circuit and the negative resistance ringer circuit. This circuit never gets shut off because this circuit recharges the source. Very simple circuit. In fact, I will connect even more load to it. Don't know if we can though. I might have run out of light bulb holders. Yeah, I think I have. So this is a radiant energy device, similar to, it is an extension of Thomas Henry Moray's work, Don Smith's work, and Nikola Tesla's work. So we're going on 20 minutes here. Well, more like 15, where we're drawing over 100 watts from the device. Holding steady, 63%. Make sure you can see that nice and good. So we're doing all that. You know, I could switch the LED bulbs with a heavier bulb and see what happens. Still got wireless power. So I think I'm going to swap out my LED bulb with incandescence. Incandescent, 40 watt. I know this is a spotlight. I'm going to hook up an incandescent right here. This was clearly an LED. We'll hook up an incandescent. Incandescent, no problem. 40 watt. We are drawing 146 watts from the device. That is our charge. We're going on 20 minutes here, running things. And again, here's the wireless power phenomenon present. And the ground is a little wet today. I wonder if I can show this lighting up on the ground near the device. Can't quite get it contacted, but it will light. Here's our power output. That is our charge on the source. Again, I will switch the inverter off. The ringer circuit will take over and rapidly recharge us. Once we hit 100, I will turn it on again. So this culmination prototype board is the result of my life's work, result of countless studying, countless hours of engaging with the community, asking how this stuff would work, how to do it. It is simple. It is based on resonance and negative resistance. And we are at 100% again. We have been running over 100 watts of load. For how long? Didn't drain our source whatsoever. I'll throw the switch. We will have power again. So all the people who are good with math in the comments can tell me how long this should run from a 5 amp hour source. We're drawing over 100 watts. It is the radiant energy device. The negative resistant radiant energy device. And I fully detail how to build it, the theory behind how it works. Fully open system in contact with the earth, magnetically resonant. And yeah, great for off-grid setups. Could probably power up kilowatts if you had a slightly bigger capacitor battery hybrid. Because you can only draw so many amps from that thing without the insides heating up. The only electrical loss in the circuitry is when we switch on the inverter. When we switch off the inverter, our negative resistance circuitry takes over. Right here. That's our negative resistance circuitry. And it rapidly recharges us. So this video is going to go on a while to completely demonstrate the capabilities of the device, and I will then take it apart and show you everything. And I will pick up the board, move it around, all sorts of cool stuff. We are at 100%. Boom. I will charge the system on, and keep in mind and this is the effect that I'm demonstrating that is recharging everything. This is the effect that supercharges everything. So now I'll switch the system on. There's a little button I have to push on the inverter here. It's right down there. Power. Kind of in an awkward spot, and I burn my hand on the light bulbs. Anyway, we have power again nonetheless. Probably scale this up and have a suitcase that would run a factory once you earth ground it. There's our power output. I might make this video go on for a while. And like I said, we're going to completely pull everything apart, show you everything. In fact, I'll even run my foot all around everything to prove there's no hidden wires anywhere. There could be no hidden wires. I'm in the middle of nowhere. My farm field. All I have to figure out now is how to get this effect to operate properly without the earth ground. And I can smell someone barbecuing. It smells good. I would like to hook up a little bit more of a load, really stress the device. I know I have a light in here somewhere that has leads soldered onto it. Oh, also, here's a good look at the coil if you want to see it. These are what the resonant pickup coils look like. But yeah, I don't think I have another light. Shit, I thought I did. Oh well, I might have to take a walk to my shed and find one. $144 still draining. In fact, I think we will take a walk to my shed and I will look for another light. I really want to blow you guys away with this thing. Do we have another light? Yes, we do. Found another light. Make sure it turns on. This is my solar shed, by the way. No form of power out here except from my solar shed. Just on. Well, we'll plug it over here and see if it turns on. And for this demonstration, I might even move the ringer board to a different location. I'll connect up another light. Alright, screw it, I'm just doing a regular connection. Alright, I think you get the idea. Strong 151 watts. Really stressing out our 5 amp hour source. Again, now I will shut the device off. Watch it rapidly recharge itself, and it's starting to rain. So we have run this demonstration for about 30 minutes, drawing over 100 watts from the device, and we are recharging. So now what I'm going to do is start taking things apart. I will move the ringer board, set it up again without a ground somewhere far away and see if it still behaves the same way or similarly. We're still recharging. We ran a lot from it, so it might take a little longer to recharge, but nonetheless it should still self-recharge. 97. 98. And I am being hit with rain. I might have to rush this. So you tell me, how can I draw all that power from a source, 5 amp hour source, without really pretty much not really draining it? The negative resistance effect is rapidly recharging it. So you pretty much get it. That's the magical circuitry that's doing it all. But when you break it down, it's not magical. We created a negative resistant RLC circuit. We don't tap the power directly off of that circuit. We bring in wireless resonant receiver coils to the circuit where we can resonantly tap power off the circuit without placing a load upon the source or killing our dipole. And I'm starting to hear thunder and a little bit of rain out. I'll completely switch the system off now, including the ringer circuitry. We will start disconnecting loads, and I will show you the entire board, move it, and turn it on again. And I'm going to probably have to start talking quick and moving the board. I'm going to move the board somewhere else and show you everything, all the connections. I don't think I'm going to run as much of a load, depends on how much time we have. And I'm running out of memory on my phone. Disconnect the earth connection. I'll show you how dead simple the board is in the circuitry. Starting to move everything. Alright, that's unplugged. Fighting Mother Nature here at the moment with bad weather. So again, there's our charge. Make sure everything's centered. Move everything around. Our earth connection right here. This is a video documentary series of the device. I will now pick the device up and we will walk away with it to a different location. I will now go further, but I have no earth ground now. We'll see if the device still works effectively without an earth ground. Oh, and if you want to see underneath it, here's how it looks underneath it. I don't know if I can lift it though without everything falling off. You know what I can do? I can put everything onto the grass. How am I going to get it back on though? Alright, I can just disconnect everything, show you everything, and we can take it from there. You're going to have to bear with me if things are slow. I'm doing all this one-handed. Here's the inverter, the AC inverter. Here is how the board looks. You can move it, do whatever the hell we want with it. So, I will then begin to set it up again. Oh yeah, this thing generated a lot of internal heat with what we did. I'm gonna reconnect the inverter. Doing all this one-handed outside in the rain when I have really bad allergies. Make sure everything's correct here. Hook up the ringer again. Here's how it looks. Here's underneath it. It's that simple. That small of a power source is doing all that, and it's through the negative resistance effect. Okay. Our feedback circuitry will now go... Our resonant feedback circuitry that you can see here is these two yellow coils. Power is turned to DC, stored in capacitors. We vary our capacitance with respect to time, which greatly helps. We have resonant feedback, not affecting our source in any way. Just have to hook this up. We're hooked back up. I don't think there's a problem. I'll now connect up the ringer circuit. See, everything passes through that analog amp meter. Okay, we should be good. I will now connect this little battery voltage display meter that shows us our charge percentage. Again, here we are with the device, the charge percentage. So I'll turn the ringer on. Ringer is on, we see it operating. No earth connection. I moved the board, you can't say I have hidden wires. We still have that radiant energy present. This is the part you would earth ground. Now I will start to go back and get my loads. I will connect my loads and turn on the AC inverter. And we have a bird flying around over there. Somewhere. Alright. I'll start to bring my loads over. Turn my lights. Carry 2 at a time. Do another demonstration. Hopefully this demonstration really silences the skeptics and opens people's minds to ancient electrical engineering. Okay, so we have our loads connected. We are now ready to turn on the AC loads. We see our ringer circuit is functioning properly. Our charge is at 100%. We will see if we can still reach 100% without the earth connection. Firing up now. Loads have come on. Charge level is at 88%. 83. I'll start to bring over more loads. And we are being rained on. Bring over another incandescent. And for those who doubt anything I'm saying or doing, I've had multiple friends and family witnesses see this and sign affidavits of its operation. This device is an extension of Thomas Henry Morey's work, Don Smith's work, and Nikola Tesla's work. We are now drawing 104.8 watts, all AC power coming off of the watt meter. All of our AC loads are run through a watt meter, and this should be touching for perfect performance. Here's our charge. Is that 7 or 1? 67%. I'll start running loads again. This is a video documentary series of the ringer generator board prototype that is nearly perfected and about to ship out to people that ordered it. What do I want to take? I think we'll take an incandescent. Now, I'm not sure how effectively it'll recharge without the earth ground. It might not hit 100% now that we don't have the earth ground. Charge is 64%. Running more load. Charge at 56. Taking 131 watts AC side to run these loads, which is technically waste. The power we use is waste, measured in amperage, which is the resistance of power flowing through the wire, as per ancient electrical engineering standards. The flow of current in a wire is the amount of waste present manifested as heat. True circuits are negative resistant RLC circuits that resonate within themselves and draw in power from the ambient environment. They are the opposite of the circuits we use that are not the definition of waste. So we are running that. We're almost into the 50-minute mark of running 100 loads over 100 watts. I switched this off. We self-recharge. I should not have any form of a charge building back up like that at all. Not after running all these loads for over 30 minutes. And I'm not sure if we will hit 100 now that we don't have the earth connection here on that point. And for those who want to see my earth rod, if you thought there was something fishy going on with the earth rod, I'll completely remove it, although I did hit it in with a hammer. Remove our light, our ground connection, remove our oscilloscope. This was our earth wire, completely removable. This was our ground pipe, should be able to remove it. This was our ground pipe. And we're just about fully recharged again. I could probably connect that ground pipe right there and see what happens. I'll turn the system on. We have load. I will connect up a green wire to that pipe. So we moved this device, I took it apart, I showed you it. There can be no doubts or complaints whatsoever. Of course, I grabbed the one that was in a knot. And I'm being eaten alive by bugs right now. We will earth ground it to a pipe. This metal pipe that's just sitting in capacitive contact with the earth. We're not even in the ground. I just don't like the fact that, hold on, there we go. Alright, so our radiant energy is present. Will be present all along the length of the pipe, or the metal tube, whatever you want to call it. I'm curious how far you could extend that and still get this to light up. Running load, no problem. All incandescent loads, all incandescent. Drawing 128.5 watts. That's our power level. We'll switch the device off. We do drain a little quicker without the pipe being buried into the earth. We'll see how quick we recharge. We are recharging. And again, to sum it up for those who don't understand, we have two circuits here. We have the ringer circuit that is operating through negative resistance, we formed a perfect negative resistance circuit, near perfect, with the correct carbon film resistor. We introduced more nonlinearity into the circuit by having a cold cathode spark gap discharge tube in parallel with the RLC circuit to make more exotic effects. We don't directly tap the power off that circuit. We tap it wirelessly. We tap it wirelessly and resonantly without destroying the dipole. Here is our charge. Going back up. And I'm being rained on, and keep in mind I didn't even bury that pipe into the ground. That's probably why it's charging a little slower, but nonetheless it is still charging. We drew 100 watts from the device, over 100, for about 30 minutes. And we're left with that for a charge. That shouldn't be possible, but nonetheless it is. So there's definitely a non-linear phenomenon occurring within the device. Nearly a full charge. Would love to see it hit 100 though, but like I said, we moved to a different spot and we don't have that pipe buried in the ground. So I will end the video here. I don't know what else there is to be said. In conclusion, I'll start to take everything apart and show you everything, although I already kind of did. And as you see, we're at 94. We are recharging. We'll do another quick walk around while it's raining, and you'll have to forgive me. I have horrible allergies. Pollen's starting to come out, and I can hardly breathe. Wireless energy is present everywhere within the system. And again, I said it 100 times now. The correct way to use this system, you create a perfect negative resistant RLC circuit. You don't tap that power directly. You tap that power wirelessly with a wireless resonant coil wound as per Nikola Tesla's patent that I linked in my last video. That's how the pickup coils are wound. You could probably make this thing even smaller. And we're tapping into wireless power without draining our source or killing our dipole, because we have a negative resistance RLC circuit drawing in ambient power from the environment, and the pickups are resonantly and magnetically tapping our power without draining our source. And there's our charge on the source. See if it hits 95. In fact, I wonder if I contact the pipe to this like dirt and I kind of bury it a little bit, what will happen? We'll just put a little bit of dirt around the pipe, make it in a bit better contact with the earth. Wonder what happened if you grounded this into water or a lake. So let's see if our charge goes up a little higher. And it is raining out, so that should make things a little more conductive on the earth. See if it hits 95. Alright, you get the idea. We will turn it on again. Let her rip. Device is on. We will run it for 5 minutes and see what it does. So until 55. Or unless the rain picks up really bad and we have to stop. Again, that's what we're drawing. 127.3 watts. And our pipe isn't even really in good contact with the earth. Also kind of fucked up my receiver light. Rain's starting to come down a little heavy. Again, there's our wireless power. Not getting any form of shock while touching this. These type of earth currents are present all the time in the form of a high frequency pulse that can apparently be tapped with negative resistant RLC circuitry. Who knows, maybe there's an underground pyramid emitting this type of pulse power into the earth. Maybe this power is just coming to the earth in an unknown way. Who knows? And I just don't want my ringer circuit to blow up in the rain. Transistor is very sensitive. 125.1 watt output. Charge on the source. And again, the magic occurs when you switch the AC inverter off. The system will recharge itself due to the negative resistance ringer circuit in contact with the earth. We'll wait another 3 minutes and I'll switch it off. Give you a good look at the bulbs. Everything's at full intensity. Our amperage draw. And I can't zoom in, my screen is getting covered with water from the rain. Our charge. I'm gonna have to shut this off soon. We're being hammered with rain. So I don't want my components to get damaged. I'm gonna shut the inverter off. We'll watch our rapid recharging occur from the ringer circuitry. So in case you don't know, you shouldn't be able to have an 80% charge left after running over a 100 watt load for over 40 minutes. And that will say 80% soon. Yep, 80%. And keep in mind just the fact we're powering up this meter draws a little bit of power. 81. So I'm being hammered by rain. Again, I'll explain it again for those who either aren't listening or didn't quite get it or aren't paying attention. We made a Super Joule Ringer 3.0 circuit, first invented by Laser Saber. Instead of running a load between the base and the collector, as he specifies, I added a negative resistance resistor. I added negative resistance components. A carbon film resistor. Has to be carbon film, can't use wire wound, it will detune the device. I used another nonlinear element, a cold cathode spark gap discharge tube, 2 in parallel. The plasma in there is just intense. So what happens is we create a negative resistance RLC circuit that consumes virtually no power to run. We then wirelessly tap that power with resonant receiver coils, and we can wirelessly resonantly tap it without draining our source or killing our dipole. And earth grounding it gains us an increase in power. Here's our charge, 83%. We are climbing. And it would probably go up even quicker if that pipe was deep in the ground. And again, you shouldn't be able to do any of the things I did for that long if something standard was occurring here. So there's obviously an interesting effect occurring. Definitely forms of nonlinear effects occurring. You can get extreme longevity out of the device. You earth ground it heavily, you can get probably virtually limitless output. You switch it off, it'll recharge quick. And I'll start disconnecting and removing the lights now, because I'm going to have to start packing it up. I'm being hammered by rain. Good look at this light. Just a light bulb. An incandescent, he's still hot. Another incandescent. Another incandescent. 83%. Wonder if we'll hit 84, probably. Ringer is firing. We're being rained on. Hopefully you can see the rain on the screen. I'm about to run out of phone memory. Just want to see it hit 84 before the video ends. Oh, yeah, we're at 84. Ask and you shall receive. So. Yeah. Yeah, I can go for Chinese. Yeah, I'll be in soon, too. Alright, thanks. Anyway, that's our charge. I'll take the system apart and show you everything. So we get the idea, it's recharging. I ran over 100 watts for definitely over 40 minutes. I have to check the video to confirm that. I'll switch the ringer off. That was our charge we got up to. It would keep recharging probably into the 90s. You get the idea. I will disconnect, start disconnecting things, show you a good look at things. This was my voltage display meter. Off to the side. This was the power input to the ringer circuit. Get a good look at that. This is our resonant feedback. This was our resonant feedback output that wirelessly recharges our source through negative resistance. This is our source, how light it is. Throw it up in the air. It is warm from all the power we drew from it. It's warm due to the fact we drew a lot of power from it and it was rapidly recharging. Our amp meter that has both our there's two connections here because we read the current flow as the inverter is on and as the ringer's running. So good look at the inverter. It's extremely light, there's nothing to it. The watt meter thing is extremely light. Pure sine wave inverter. My legs are falling asleep. I'm being rained on, bitten by bugs. Can hardly breathe from allergies, but you get it. Here's the ringer. Here's how it looks. Those two yellow coils are the wireless outputs that were creating the negative resistance effect, doing all that. Give you a real good look at it. And again, here's the board. You can just pick this up, walk away with it. It's portable. Good look around everything. So, I'm not sure what else there is to say, what else there is to see. I'm going to conclude the video here. And I thank everybody who is a supporter and believer of MTech Technologies, because our mission statement is to keep pushing the bounds of what's possible with the utmost efficient technology in forms of negative resistance, energy harvesting technology, creating the utmost efficient dual ringer circuits the utmost efficient Tesla coils, you name it, power supplies, we're getting into it. So that concludes the video. I'll begin to pack everything up. And I can't get over how hot this is. We were rapidly taking charge from this and rapidly giving it charge. This thing is hot. So safely, you'd probably only want to draw 40 to 50 watts from it unless you added a second one in parallel. Because what's happening is the AC is, well, we have such a high DC draw from the thing when we power up the inverter, and then the negative resistance recharges it super fast. So we're charging and discharging so fast, so many cycles a second. So I'll begin to pack up, and yeah, thank you everybody. It's interesting. We can break down the components. It's like we have all the individual components to make a pizza, except instead of making a pizza, we're making energy. Well, not making energy, we're harvesting it from the environment. Get into a whole big ancient debate on if energy can actually be created or destroyed, because if you take an Occam's razor approach to things, where did the energy to start the universe originally come from? There had to have been some form of energy synthesis in the beginning. So anyway, who knows? Who knows the real answers? But nonetheless, the system works, has interesting effects. I fully disclose how to build it, the schematics on my Patreon for free. You can either build it yourself or buy it from me. There is a wait time. It should be shipping out. Everyone who ordered the unit, the generator unit, should receive it in less than 10 days now. There were just a lot of breakthroughs made with the system, and I would have felt guilty sending them something when literally light year type breakthroughs were around the corner. So hopefully that fully explained everything, how it works. And yeah, I'm going to end the video. We're going to pack up. I thank you, everybody. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Check out our Patreon, even if it's for free. We have an archive of electrical engineering knowledge compiled all in one spot for you to read from the masters who gave you field theory. And yeah, just a great place to learn. So thank you again, everybody.